I went ahead and clicked the link right over to the defending, defendinged.org is the website. And the title of the investigation is the Little Red Classroom. And there's some interesting information in here, and I'm not going to read the whole thing, but there's 143 districts, both active and inactive, including 20 near military bases that are currently working with the Confucius Institute. The funding between 2009 and 2023, I don't know if that's annually, it doesn't really say, almost $18 million. Let's see, overview. Okay, here's the overview. It says, Parents Defending Education uncovered contracts that show Confucius classrooms or other Chinese government-backed programs are still in operation at the following schools. Cloverport Independent School District, that's in Kentucky. Minnetonka, I don't know, public school, that's in Minnesota. St. Cloud Area School District, Minnesota. Tulsa Public Schools, Oklahoma. Sisters, wow, interesting. This is where I'm at. Sisters School District, Oregon. Not a surprise, actually. Highland Park Independent School District in Texas, and Seattle Public School in Washington. So those are schools, public schools, some private, that have active Confucius classrooms in the districts. Very, very interesting.
Yep.
Anyway, there's a lot of information in this article. So this segues into, it's interesting that the Confucius Institute, with what I'm assuming is their Marxist agenda to get in and indoctrinate our K through 12s, I wonder why it's kind of difficult, or why skilled trades can't get in there and educate our youth on skilled trades apprenticeship programs and things like that, right? It seems like when we, again, I don't know, I'm still working on this angle, but it's not easy to get into public schools and present non-college concepts, non-college career paths to high school students in particular. It's hard to do that. It's not easy to get in there.
Right. It's a situation, and I think you and I talked about it a while back, but it's a situation that you have to look at. You have to go at it, I think, a little differently than the way the colleges have gone at it. You know, colleges have always gone into secondary schools with this promise of, wonderful life, good, wonderful careers, big money, all this, and that, and the other. And then at the same time, the media has pushed the idea that you cannot be successful. You cannot make the kind of money that you can if you don't have a college degree. And so between those two factions right there, which are all basically controlled by Marxist groups, between those groups right there, they've pushed the American parents into believing that that's the only option. If the kid's not going to go to college, then they're probably not going to ever be successful at anything. And that's not true. But you have to go in, the schools know, they know for a fact what percentage of kids are going to go to college and what kids aren't. And they also know that the kids that are going to go to college, which is 60-some% now, that still leaves 40% that are not going to ever go to college, or not even planning on going to college. But they also know that out of that 60-some% that are going to go to college, all but about 37 point some odd percent, or 38 point some, whatever, just under 40% of them are never going to complete a 4-year degree in anything anyway. So they're going to have some other kind of opportunity if they're going to make a living and pay taxes. And so that bottom line is that I think we have to look at getting skilled trades back in front of people through an alternative to college. In other words, if you're not going to go, you can't afford it, can't get a loan, which, they made it so that's, impossible. Anybody can get a loan. You might not ever be able to pay it back, but you can get it if you want it. But if you can't get into college, or you're not going to go to college, or don't want to go to college, then what other alternatives are there? Again,
right.
we're back to the fishing license. Here's your high school diploma. Good luck. Hope you have a good, lovely life.
Right.
Try the military. Maybe they'll take care of you. Or something like that.
So go ahead. Sorry, Jim.
No, I was just saying it just keeps going in that direction. If we can figure out as a country how to get back in front of the high schoolers and get back in front of kids, even if you can't get physically on the high schools, you got to get to them through social media or whatever, and you got to get them excited about the idea of a skilled trades versus a 4-year degree in something that's never going to amount to anything. And you got to once you get them excited about that, you better have a place for them to go to get information and to actually get some training. And that's the hard part. You're behind the ball on developing training. There's a lot of post-secondary training programs out there in skilled trades, and not just in apprenticeships, but in many different trades, from dental techs to whatever, business-oriented stuff, manufacturing, all that kind of stuff. It's just a matter of how do you get them all coordinated and get them to where the kid can go on their little computers or their phones or iPhones and bring it up and look at it and say, well, I don't want that. And then make it easy to get into it. Make it easy to get to, and that's the difference. It's easy to get into college, not easy to stay there, and certainly not easy to pay the price when you get out, but it is easy to get into.